All right, we're back on. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I was getting spoiled. What? I want to see some of these comments.
Yeah,
Oh,
I hope to see more of these after the lockdown. It
it's
says,
so
yes,
funny. Okay.
absolutely. I would love
Yes.
to keep on doing this. And I don't think it's only just once. I think like, month
Oh
or
yeah,
so
definitely.
we'll get back to you again and see like what other things you've created in a month. I feel like now you've concentrated on yourself and also like really organized your thoughts, your
Yeah.
creations. I feel like now you're like at this creative energy is like,
Yeah,
flowing.
it's nice to have. It's nice to have. It's nice to have the time,
Mhm.
and also still working and
Mhm.
being like communicating with people in like you, like in the community as well. And I think it's also making it even like to the larger scale, larger audience of people understand like how important artists and creatives are and how
Mhm.
pivotal we are in times like
Yeah.
this. Because if we're in a new world,
Yeah.
only people that can imagine a new world are creative people.
Yeah.
So
You said it
give
well.
people jobs
Yes.
like us, make sure we're teaching and growing and needing what we need in order to do the work and the
Yeah.
research we do, you
Well
know?
said. Well said. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I love how you were teaching too. Do you teach with a mantra every class?
Yes,
Is this
every
something?
class.
Did you
So
continue
my
that?
mantra, I'm so happy you brought it up because I haven't been able to figure out how to do it during Zoom calls. So I think I'm just gonna repeat it and then just hope that the kids get it. Um, but they really like it. I'm at
Yeah.
some when I first started. So I first started when I was working. I created it when I was working at Brooklyn Shoe Space
Mm.
with the WPA group and the women who were had been touched by the judicial system.
Hmm.
So the reason that I created the mantra was because I know that when people walk into a classroom, they are not just walking in ready to learn,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, whoo, I'm here. Let's make some bags. I know that for a fact because that's not how I walk in
Oh,
either.
yeah.
I have to come in, as like 30 minutes before, hour before, like drink my tea, get myself together,
Yeah.
so I built it as a way for people to like establish that they're in a different space,
Hmm.
acknowledge the importance of that space, and also the care and consideration they needed to have when occupying and operate
Right.
in
And
the
for
studio.
themselves as well as for the other people around
Exactly.
you.
Because it signifies that you decided to come here.
Yeah.
So whatever we decide to do in this space, you need to be in alignment with it spiritually, mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, at some point there is too many machines in here for
Yeah.
you to
There's,
not be in
yeah.
order.
Oh, yeah.
It's too many dangerous machines in here.
Yeah.
So the mantra goes, "I'll do it for you."
Yes,
Uh,
please.
oh well, we can do it together.
Yeah. Okay. I'll repeat
So
after
repeat
you.
after me. You can
Okay.
repeat after me.
Okay.
I commit to this practice.
I commit to this practice.
I commit to this practice as a commitment to myself.
I commit to this practice as a commitment to myself.
I commit to this practice for the benefit of myself.
I commit to this practice for the benefit of myself.
I commit to the skills and knowledge growing within myself.
I commit to the skills and the knowledge growing within myself.
I commit myself to this practice.
And I commit myself to this practice.
And that's
This is
it.
amazing. I should write
Yeah.
it down. Maybe share it with me. So I'll post
Yeah,
when I
I
post the video.
will. I'll post it to my Instagram too.
Okay.
It's been a way I've been trying to figure out how to incorporate it with people. I use it anytime I meditate when I wake up in the morning
It's
before,
a
like,
quick
you know,
way to really like zoom into your
yeah,
work.
especially because to me, being on a sewing machine, preparing to make anything
Mm-hmm.
is worship, right? So I'm literally acknowledging, just the same way you pray when you go to church. I'm acknowledging that this is the tool that I'm using. I'm the vessel in which it will be operating, and we got to be on one accord.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And if I am messed up here or
The machine
somebody's
will do the
bothering me,
same back to you. Yeah.
yeah, and
Expect it.
it's going my machine gonna mess up. How
Yeah.
many times have we all been on the machine and it's like messing up, the bobbin is not like, and you know how to do everything, but
Right.
it's just not in alignment.
Right.
So it's helpful, especially when training people and new people who don't have many skills in making.
Yeah.
It's a good reference for if they do come up against like some issues and things are not working out in their favor. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, take a break, go say the mantra, go for a walk, and then
Yeah.
come back. You
Yeah.
know,
Because the frustration sometimes they put it on the machine and the machine.
yeah,
It's not the
yeah. And then I'm
machine's
like,
fault.
right, I'm like, what is this? What are we talking about? Because we're
Right.
clearly not talking about the shoe.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Oh,
shoe
that's
is
so
not.
great. Oh,
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
everybody is like affected, or how do you say, influenced by it, and I'm sure everybody appreciates that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I had some students last semester. I think I missed it like 1 or 2 weeks, and they were like, "So we're just not doing the mantra anymore."
Well,
I was like,
they don't
"Okay,
need it.
didn't know y'all liked it. Cool."
Oh, that's so
Like
great.
it was so crazy, but I'm happy
Did you
that
use the mantra also at the Mad Museum courses?
I
Or?
do. I don't as often, not as often, because so I do workshops there every once in a while.
Okay.
And I probably will use it because I have a workshop coming up at the beginning of May. So it's a
Okay.
virtual workshop we'll be doing
Oh,
via Zoom. So I'll be letting people know about that on my Instagram as well. But not as often. I use it when I come in, like to get myself together, because it is a different being on display like that is very
it's like
interesting
a
as an artist.
fishbowl. It's like a
Yeah,
fishbowl situation. Everybody can
yeah.
see you. Whatever you're
Yeah,
doing, or you're thinking.
I mean, it's a glass box. It's definitely zoo-ish, you know. Not gonna fake the funk. It is very
Your
zoo-ish.
sweat and everything. They can see
Yeah, but
everything.
also I'm happy that I have the like clear mind to tune people
Mhm.
out. I also have a nice shade that they gave me, so I'm not completely open.
Okay.
Um, and also the beautiful part about it is that the museum is very supportive of us needing our time to work, right? There, you don't have to talk to everybody that comes in. You don't have to leave your door open all the time unless you want to,
Mhm.
other than during studio open hours. And
Mhm.
even then, if I'm feeling uncomfortable or anything, they are really great at guiding and making us feel comfortable with the fact that we're artists. There to help us,
Right.
and the guests are they're able to just witness what we're doing, which is
Great.
something that most people don't aren't able to do. One of my favorite other parts about being in that space though is that we have a lot of school groups.
Okay.
So yeah, so we regularly, I would say, when we were open, it was at least 2 or 3 small like high school to elementary school groups that would
Oh.
come and visit,
Oh, that's great.
and it was so great. Like, and also like adult groups with disabilities, like deaf blind, like groups of
Wow.
people. So it is a really open way of like interacting with your
Oh, yeah.
art too.
Did they get to
Like,
touch and feel your work
yeah,
a
like
bit?
so I get to decide like if I want them to touch, if I want to bring out things for them to touch and
Mm-hmm.
feel and interact with. And it's really great because they'll ask. I think one of the things that happens as an artist is you get so distracted about being like so like cerebral about everything and like academic is
Yeah.
that you forget that what we do is still human, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
there are questions that are so simple, but that can bring so much clarity.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Kids
it's,
ask the best questions, don't they?
yeah, they
Yeah.
do. What is that?
They're
I
just
mean,
like
you definitely know. You have
curious.
like
They're
two
just
babies here
curious.
too. Yeah, they're the greatest. So yeah, that's been a great part that I didn't think would really impact me in a way, and I really miss it. So I think that's why I'm trying to have more like interactive. Like I just did a podcast recording with the teen. We have teen interns at the museum. So they're supposed to be releasing a podcast episode at the end of this week, I believe. Which was nice because they're 16 and they were asking me questions about what does it feel like? What did you feel like when you were 16 and doing this? I was like, oh my God, they're so weird art nerds like me.
That's awesome. Wait, what's this podcast called?
Oh, I have no details.
Okay.
I literally just recorded it, but I will. I'll let you know, and I'll post it on my Instagram too.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. It was a emotional roller coaster.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any interview I'm usually end up crying because I become passionate about whatever.
About what you do. Mm-hmm.
Right. And with them, I think one of the students, she really hit me hard. I was like, girl, yes, it's okay though. I was like, it's okay to cry. We need to be able to cry openly in interviews. It should not be a sign of weakness. So it was a lot. It was beautiful to like talk to them and connect with them, especially like when they're all at home, still doing school, trying to interact with, working to interact with the museum as much as possible so that people realize that this can be an escape. It is still an educational space that you can grow and thrive. And also working with them to figure out what museum space looks like. You know, what does it look like in this like Zoom world? You know, do I have interviews with you and then show you the new work? Or do I take private clients and do private Zoom calls to see if people want to purchase the work? Like, that it's nice to be able to talk with the institution about ways in which we're thinking about the future of art and not just like historical context.
Right. So, and I'm curious, do we get to see your work at the museum at some point? Maybe
at some point, hopefully, that we are in talks about possibly doing like facilitating what will happen, because we don't even know when we're going to open back up.
Right. I feel like
so it
might change.
Yeah. So it's more of discussion, open discussion then. And I'll be there. I'm confirmed to be in residence with them until August. And then hopefully we'll see what else happens.
Yeah. I really hope you can get back in there really soon.
I do too, because most of my stuff is there.
Oh, wow. You didn't have time to bring it back.
I didn't have time. And I also didn't want to. I didn't want to, because I knew even no matter how long we were going to be in quarantine, I wanted to be making new work in quarantine. I didn't want
separate from the museum,
separate from the work that I was doing before.
Right.
Because a part of like the sculptural work, the tapestry work, is that it is removed from the utility of it needing to be a bag or a shoe or a belt or whatever. And if I have those regularly in my reference, it is more difficult to remove myself from them. Like even then today, I started making a shoe because my class one of my students needed an example, and I was like, yeah. I'm still gonna make it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, that's why when you ask, like, do you have anything to show? I'm like, I have sculptures. I don't have any bag. All the bags are at this. Everything I made prior to moving in is there, unless it's like super old archive stuff.
Okay.
Like I have my full shoe archive.
Your vest.
Yes, my vest is here.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait. I have that.